And now on SoFaKingRadio.com, Sleapin Weither sits down with Jonny Law from Warner Drive out of Los Angeles, California. Be sure to check the band out at www.warnerdrive.com. Also follow them at Twitter, Facebook, and MySpace. Now sit back, enjoy as Sleapin Weither sits down with Jonny from a new up-and-coming band.
In line to waste my time. I'll be better off alone.
All right, cool. You ready to get started, bud? I don't want to take your time. I know you got shit to do.
No,
So.
let's do it, man. I love it.
All right, let's see. Where do I want to begin? I had a bunch of questions for you. Let's see. You have an awesome stage presence. Is that natural or something you work on perfecting?
It's definitely something that is not natural. I wouldn't so much say that I work on perfecting it or anything like that, but I think, you know, when you and I met up, I briefly told you about this, but I wasn't the original singer of this band. And when the singer in the band parted ways, being the primary songwriter myself, the band put me in a position where they said, you know, we all want to go on, and rather than look for a new singer, because we're all like brothers, why don't you just start singing? And I was absolutely against it. I was more than happy, you know, playing my music, playing guitar next to the drummer and being nice and quiet. I'm not the kind of guy that really enjoys the spotlight or anything like that. And, you know, I did my first show, and I recall so many of our friends and fans coming up to us and going, you know, you're not as good as the old singer, but it fits this band a lot better, so don't give up. And, you know, in time, I slowly but surely started coming in my own as a singer. I'm primarily a guitar player, so I remember the first rehearsal when we were sitting around, and the guy said to me, because I always played guitar when I sang, which kind of made me stuck in the mic, and the guy said to me, you know, this song doesn't need two guitars. And I said, yeah, you're right, but, you know, what's the other guitar player going to do? And they were like, no, it's not what they're not going to do, it's what you're not going to do. You're not going to play guitar. And I was just like, you guys are nuts. There's no way I'm going to, you know, sing without my guitar in front of me, because it was a security blanket. But I did that, and, you know, it started out as one or two songs in the set, then it became 3 or 4 songs in the set, 5 or 6, and now it's at the point where I don't even play guitar anymore. So it's definitely not something that was natural, but it's something that I've definitely learned and I'm growing into, and the fact that you think that I'm the frontman really means the world to me, because it's my biggest insecurity, and it's the thing that I work the hardest on doing.
Well, I can tell you, just from the show the other night, wow, dude, everybody was blown away. The one thing I heard all night from everyone was what a good frontman you are for a band. That was really, I was blown away by it.
Personally, that really does mean a lot to me on a personal level, so thank you very, very much.
Absolutely. The whole band's great, too, don't get me wrong. You guys together, it's just so amazing to see, because music today, a lot of guys get up on stage, it's jeans, T-shirt, there's not a whole lot to it, and you guys seem to really kind of mesh together well live and just kind of do your own thing, but yet it comes off as a group really, really well from a fan's point of view, so kudos to you guys for that, for sure.
We've got something real special going on. You know, this isn't the original lineup of the band. The original lineup was my best friends, and we're called Warner Drive because we all grew up here on the street Warner Drive. But this isn't the original lineup. You know, that lineup, that is where the roots of this band are, but this lineup, it's really got something special. There's a chemistry on a personal level between each of us. There's a chemistry on a musical level between all of us. You know, I think everyone really understands how to balance out a stage, so if the bass player goes over to one side, we balance it out by the guitar player going over the other. You know, we don't crowd too many sides of the stage, and that's just that's attributed to these guys all being, you know, seasoned musicians. They all came from their bands. They've all had a lot of experience in music, and I think that this is a really strong lineup for this band, and it's you know, it's the one that's been sticking for the last few years, and I don't see it going anywhere because I love each and every one of those guys with all my heart.
Oh, yeah, you guys, it works so well live from a fan's point. That's great. Who does the primary writing in the band? Who's responsible for the riffs and the lyrics and stuff? Is that cooperative or?
It's becoming more cooperative. You know, being like I said, that this is kind of a newer rendition of the band. We've only really been playing for like the last, I'd say, 2 years together, and then we got Canvas only about a year ago. So we've been playing a lot of catch-up in the sense that, you know, we're learning all the old material because we do shows where we'll play, you know, 3 hours straight. So there's a lot of material for us to learn, and we're just getting to the point where we've caught up, and, we've learned all the original material and the older material so we can get through a 3-hour set. We've just started writing some songs together, the first of which was a song called Faking Smiles, which just seems to be a huge fan favorite, and over in Arizona it's getting some radio play. And if that's any indication of the chemistry that this group has as a writing unit, the sky's the limit for us, because there's definitely something special happening, and it's becoming much more of a cooperative effort rather than, playing songs that I wrote back in the day.
Right on. That's my favorite track too. I've played it a few times on the station for the downloads.
There you go.
The kids love it. It's great. That I didn't know that. That's really cool to know, because that is a special song.
The first song we all wrote together, and like I said, if that's any indication of how we're going to move forward as a band, it's really going to be something special.
Right on. Who all is in the band, and what do they play? What's their kind of role, if you don't mind, real quick?
Absolutely. We got Elvis on bass. We've got Albert Garrett on guitar. Candace is our rhythm guitar player. Johnny U is the drummer. And there's me, and I sing, Johnny Law.
Right on. All right. What's your favorite Warner Drive song?
We just wrote a song, and it's called KGO. It's really about, kind of like, the theme is like, the kids get sick of what's going on with radio, and they kind of take over radio, and they build their own radio station, and they call it KGO. And we're unveiling it actually this Friday for the first time. And it's going to kick ass, man. This song is really unique. It's unique in both in its style, and it's unique in its lyrics. I think our fans are really going to attach themselves to it. It's really going to be something cool.
Right on. What about your favorite backstage on the road story? You got any of those for us?
We have been so lucky to play with so many great bands, go on tour with so many national bands. Our band has, we've gone on tour with bands like, Fuel, Chet, CKY, Rat, which is where we met you, The Killers. We've played some huge shows, and there's been a lot of great backstage moments. There's been some not so great backstage moments with artists who are, pretty mega and need their own space and need their own time. But there's just so many moments that we've had as a band collectively, because we've been so lucky to be in a position where we were able to experience these things. Personally, when I get backstage, I like to be real mellow and real quiet. I'm not the kind of party guy that people think I am. So when I get backstage, if I can close the door and be by myself, that's my favorite backstage moment.
Right on. That's good. Let's see. Now, I did do a little background checking on you, a little bit off the internet, and you definitely have a few passionate causes.
Yeah.
Definitely the animals thing, and if you don't mind, I want to bring up the blood drive thing. That seems to be... Is that still something you're definitely active in and still, kind of let people know about?
I definitely am. I think that donating blood is the best gift you can give to anybody. There's a lot of different charities out there, and all of them profit somehow on the back end. When you donate blood, it's not going to anyone other than the person who's in need, and that's 100% of your contribution. The charity doesn't make any money. Even these charities that call themselves nonprofit, they got to stay alive somehow. So somehow somebody's benefiting somewhere. But when you give blood, there's really no greater gift you can give to another human being. And my dad passed away from a bone marrow transplant after he really beat leukemia. I just tell people that he died from leukemia. It's kind of an easier story. Bone marrow transplants were kind of complicated and in depth. But my family's from England, and in the U.S., if you've spent more than 3 weeks cumulatively in the U.K., you're not allowed to donate blood in America. And being that we're all English, my dad was in need for blood, and we weren't allowed to give it to him, which was heartbreaking for us.
Wow.
So I had to reach out to our fan base and friends, fans, to kind of donate blood for my dad. And those people, without them, they gave me 6 extra months with my dad. And I can't thank them enough for that. And that experience has made me want to become really active in, going out and actively getting people, recruiting them to go donate blood. People can't donate for my dad anymore, obviously, because he passed away. But what they can't do is they can donate in my dad's honor. They can donate in anybody's honor. And like I said, it really is the greatest gift you can give to another human being in need.
Very, very. Yeah, actually, when I read that about you, right after I met you guys at Rat, I actually decided I think I'm going to do that once the heat passes here in the Valley. I think I'll start giving blood just because I never thought about it that way. So kudos to you for that. That's very, very, very cool. Very, very cool. Let's see, just a couple more, and then I want to run through.
That's 20. A noble cause, Dan. I'm glad you're doing it. Thank you,
that's very cool because the way you put it just now, I'm probably going to cut that up for you there and play that a lot on my show because that's really cool. No, I never thought about supporting something that's not out for profit like that, and I'm a big supporter of that stuff. So there's so many shysters out there. Let's see. Now I got to ask you this. This is kind of a personal question to you from me. Do you believe that it's just a drive that you have to succeed, or do you think that it's predestined?
You know, it's tough, and this is a pretty in-depth conversation that we're going to get into over here. But you know, after I lost my dad, everything I relate to is comes from my dad. I don't want to say I lost faith in a lot of things, but after losing my dad, I questioned a lot of things. I prayed super hard when my dad was sick, and something that made me think was, there's mass genocide going on all over the world right now. Thousands of people getting slaughtered in Africa, in Darfur, those people are praying too. So why is God, if there's a God, gonna listen to me and my prayers over the thousands that are being slaughtered all over the world right now? What's gonna make God divinely intervene in my life? And I started to kind of not lose faith by any stretch of the imagination, because, I'm absolutely a God-fearing man. But it just made me question a lot of things, destiny, fate. Because if I believe in fate, then I got to believe it's my mother's fate to live out the rest of her life alone, and that's very hard for me to believe. If I believe in destiny, I got to believe it was my dad's destiny to lose his life at the age of 65, and I can't believe that was my dad's destiny. So I started to question a lot of those things. My drive to succeed really now just comes from, my dad and his support of what he wanted me to do. He never forced me to go in a direction that my heart wasn't in. I come from a very, very studious family. My sister's a lawyer. My mom's a doctor. My dad was corporate VP of Bank of America. They would have loved to have seen me put on a suit and tie and go to work every day, 9 to 5, and, make a life for myself. But they never forced me to go do anything that my heart wasn't in. And because of that, after losing my dad and all of his support, doing this in his honor, showing him that I can succeed in the field that he allowed me and supported me in, that's the motivating factor. That's the drive. It's not about the fun, the sex, the drugs, the rock and roll, and all those cliches that go along with music. That has nothing to do with my motivation for succeeding in music. My motivation simply comes from the standpoint that I want to show my dad that I did it.
Right on. It shows, dude. You are like, I gotta tell you, I'm a huge 80s metal fan, and you're like one of the first singers since, I don't know, Junkyard. You remember the band Junkyard, if you even know who they are?
I totally do. Junkyard. What's funny is one of my first jobs ever, I worked with Roach, who was the singer of Junkyard.
Right on.
And we were in a movie distribution house, and we were rolling posters. I didn't catch up.
No, that's cool. That's really, really cool. When I see you performing and the band performing, that's what I remember. It brings back Junkyard to me. They were one of my favorite live bands. They were just all about rock and roll and a good time, and it seemed that they enjoyed what they were doing, which is the biggest thing to me. So, right on. That's really cool. What about what's upcoming with you guys? You want to plug a couple shows coming up? What do you guys got planned for, say, the next 6 months?
We are playing the Sunset Music Festival actually this Friday, which is a big thing out here in LA. They shut down the streets, they closed it off. I think Smashing Pumpkins is headlining, Flash is headlining. It's going to be a really big deal and a really big show, so we're really looking forward to that. That's what we have going on in the immediate future. Right after that, we're trying to actually finish up our EP so that by the time we get out on our next tour, we have some new music for our fans. I know you're over in Arizona, so I think that's the main question over there, and that is our next show's over there on the 25th of September, and we're playing at 9:10. and then we're coming back August 22nd, and we're going to be opening up for Fuel August 22nd at 9:10 as well. And that's going to be a really big fun show as well.
Yeah, another one of my favorites. I love Fuel. I'm so glad they're kind of
Yeah.
refueled. That's kind of really cool. All right, cool.
Exactly.
I'm going to run down 20 questions.
Absolutely, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Blonde, redhead, or brunette?
Ha! Can I have all three at the same time?
There you go. Good answer. Republican